Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing, spectacular Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, like defender of the fatherland, off here to a 2v2 on Elst Ourtskirts. In the north, it is Isildur and Borobadger fighting for the German army, Deutschland. Here with the 7th Panther Division, the Ghost Division, here with Lightning War, Blitzkrieg, Spearhead, and the exact same set of commanders there for Borobadger as well here. Versus, in the south, it is Fire&Terror and Ausarthevile fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Comrade Stalin. Here with the 6 Guards, Mechanized Corps with Terror Tactics, Guard Motor, NKVD, Counterattack, Guard Motor, and Combined Arms. So we're off to the races here. And a big thanks to maybe me for donating and supporting the Propagandacast with this hard-earned money. Big thanks to you, and a big thanks to my Patreon supporters for supporting the Propagandacast as well there. Others can do as well by pledging on Patreon. They can do it via PayPal, or you can also do it now by pre-ordering companies through the link in the comments and using the code Propaganda, because Propagandacast turns out was too long, and I only found out that later on, so sorry about that. But, you know, support the Propagandacast as well if you're going to pre-order the game anyways. But anyways, you can also just find a comment, like, share, subscribe. Helps out as well there. But anyways, said anyways too many times for that matter. But Glenny's MD42 Pioneers, Glenny's MD42 Pioneers. Pretty much mirrored openings here from the German players. No surprise there. W's double conscripts and triple conscripts here for Ausar. We got Pioneers guns clashing right here by the southern farmhouse here. As Ausarthevile is of course trying to force an entrance towards here, secure the area, and then of course threaten the fuel point. In the south here, Fire&Terror here is being held up by Borobadger, who is showing no mercy to his Marxist opponent. Gunnies are being losing up to the conscript up close. In terms of engagement ranges, typically versus Gunnies conscript, you want the Gunnies to engage the conscript at range, and conscript of course wants to be up close versus the Gunnies. North here, Engineers falling a bit back here, not going to push for the fuel point here. Probably figuring out there's the Gunnies, the MD42, the Gunnies and the Pioneers are here. The MD42 is probably up by the fuel point, which I think is an incredibly astute observation there by Ausarthevile. Thumbs up. In the south here, we got Borobadger trying to push forward, but the Engineers are proving to be a significant obstacle here for Borobadger, and with the bar why he can't easily even, like, if needs to push out, he can't easily occupy the building and use that as a springboard to further pressure Fire&Terror. Third Gunnery squad here for Borobadger, conquering 40 against the Gunneries there. Up north, machine gun has repositioned just a bit there. Meanwhile, in the centre, we can see the Ausar is swinging about here, looking to, I think, threaten here the rear of Borobadger, perhaps, instead of charging further into Isildur. Not a bad tactical move here, I think, by Ausarthevile. So far, though, no commander shows yet. Gunneries here from Borobadger's command are pushed back as Ausar and his Frontevics lunge themselves here at him. No, I think he actually merged the conscripts here with the other conscript to get that full strength, pushing forward for that. Thumbs up to Ausar. Very nice play there. Meanwhile, Borobadger having to switch the axis of attack from the building towards the car point. I think that's always a really smart move as well. Disrupts here Fire&Terror, and by extension, Ausarthevile's fuel supply here. Good play there by Borobadger. Good play. The smart player will always, look for the path of, most progress or least resistance. In particular, as the Wehrmacht, you do not want to get caught up in these grind matches. You want typically find the path, provides you the most maximum bang for your buck while taking the fewest casualties, because you very much have the smallest units. Also, boot demo charge here on the attempted retreat path of Borobadger. Sadly, too slow there for Ausar, but had it worked out, it could have been an MD42 wipe. Possibly even a Grenadier wipe there. Oh, goddamn Himmel! Gets the wipe there on the Grenadiers. That was really vicious there by Ausar, but as you might have noticed, quite effective. Isildur with the 4th Grenadier squad. Meanwhile, Borobadger is down just 2 Grenadiers, 74-2. He is taking up their light mechanized company going up there for Borobadger and for Deutschland. But he's certainly finding himself a bit limited here now in terms of what he can do here. May have to switch over to supporting Isildur, perhaps. We'll have to see what he does. He could also try and launch a deep flank through the west here, because currently, Ausar and more focus on this. Of course, this would mean leaving, at least for a brief while, Isildur to do all the fighting. And of course, the question is, could Isildur hold out for that long? I don't know, but it's certainly something that could be possibly discussed between Isildur and Borobadger internally. But so far, it looks like Borobadger instead is going to go for option A, which of course is just, switch go to a more supportive mode for his teammate. Again, that's also good teamwork in that regard. But again, one more risky option would have been the deep flank, going for the fuel point, then messing with the third economy a bit. But anyways, Both surplus here, Ausar and Fire&Terror going for the Tank Group 10 command here. Likely at least one anti-aircraft being rushed out, maybe two, but I would expect at least one T-70 though as well. In the center there, Borobadger making progress. For Deutschland, he's rushing out the 2-2. Rushing it out, he's getting it out. And there you go, nice flank with Isildur and the MD-42 here, catching Fire&Terror from an angle he is not expecting. Thumbs up there. How you want to employ the MD-42 in service of Das Vaterland. Reinforcing healing here, and we got the 2-2 almost done there. Back here, tank junk up there, and half track there for Ausar. Fire&Terror could go for one, but I'd not be surprised to see a T-70 from. I mean, some players will go for like double anti-aircraft half tracks, but others will, you know, go for a mix there. So we'll have to see what they do. And we got Ausar here with the first command of the match. It is counterattack, featuring the KV-1, shock troopers, reconnaissance overflights from Mother Russia, and finally the B-4 howitzer. Meanwhile, Borobadger starting to replace his losses there, as Isildur remains fairly occupied here by Ausar's constant and incessant attacks around here. In the center there, gonna use MD-4 holding up the west side. We get the armored car being pushed back by the conscripts. Bit of fierce skirmishing here up north. MD-42 remains dug in. A bit removed from everything else though, but also covering against any deep flanks from Ausar. And that was a hell of a rifle grenade here, leaving numerous of Ausar's men dead and crucially wiping an engineer squad entirely. Thumbs up there. But, of course, there's now a bit of an issue here for the Germans. There's an anti-aircraft after in the field, and neither Isildur or Borobadger pack 40 out. I don't even think they've got telemines out. They're sending her access to Panzerschrecks, and there's only one 2-2 which currently has got engine issues because someone got too close an anti-tank grenade. Look, I'm sorry, I thought he was an avocado. You think the Russians knows about avocados in the first place, you dummkopf, and why would they fire at your armored car? I was hungry. You're an idiot. Needs to bring it back up with the conscripts there against the grenades on the west side. After coming on the east side, it's definitely going to be a problem there for Isildur's men. Pack 40 for Borobadger, and one for Isildur as well there. Pretty much a requisite here. I mean, it theoretically could have gone for Panzerschrecks, but neither player has the munitions, and so far neither player has the Panzer Grenadier squad either. But theoretically, could have considered it. Could have considered it. I would say them like this. Definitely think has some room for Panzerschrecks. There's a lot of room for the infantry to creep up with the Raketenpanzerbüchse and shoot the, you know, offending vehicles into bits and pieces. Got motor here with front Fire&Terror, T-35s, Hay Mortars, Guards Rifle Infantry, vehicle repair training, marked vehicle. I mean, at this point, we largely all know the drill. Conscript 6 to the Grenadiers here by the center. T-70 down there for Fire&Terror. MD-42 trying to do some damage, but without even sending out piercing rounds, that's going to be very optimistic about two MD-42s firing at it, which again does do some very light damage, but as some of you might be noticing, it's not a lot. Again, they need the sending out piercing rounds, like have a realistic chance of taking out the half track, you know, this month. Almost had it there, though, with the Pack 40 in the west. Armored car pushed back the counter here. Germans definitely find a bit of defensive here against the Red Army, as Ausar and Fire&Terror definitely leveraging the anti-aircraft half track, and now T-70 here well. Also got the Guard Squad out here, plus shock troopers for Ausar. For those wondering what shock troopers specifically were, they were basically assault engineers in the Red Army, a specialist detachment attached wherever they were needed. Typically, though, urban combat environments. The body armor itself was specifically for urban environments where you'd expect more, pistols and submachine guns, because that's basically all the armor could stop. So, fun fact: there's conscripts that are going to use here. After track, they're heavily damaged, and will need some significant repairs. Meanwhile, back here in the German base, armored car for Isildur, fairly late-ish. I don't know. I feel like we've got something. There you go. We got here Fire&Terror with a daredevil raid that backed up the guards for now. Armored car down. Could even see Borobadger's Pack 40 rendered into naught. A disruptive loss here for Borobadger and the German army. And could see the Pack 40 destroyed as well. There we go. Fire&Terror there, hard at work, wrecking that German piece of equipment. And Borobadger is actually replacing the armored car. I don't think I'm a huge fan of that timing for it. It does get the T-70 though. It does recruit the Pack 40. This time might get it away here. It's not terrible, I guess, but I think at this point, Borobadger might start to slowly consider investing into something a bit bigger than an armoured car. He is taking up, he actually did cancel it, so that's good. Thumbs up to that. Fighting continues to be pretty high stakes here. We got a heavy mortar out there for Fire&Terror, bringing in some significant artillery to blast the Germans into smithereens. Note there's a German army also operated the exact same mortars, they just straight up copied it and called the Granatenwerfer 43. Fun fact. After rushing out there for Ausar, 9 kills, 10 kills. On the west here, Borobadger now with a few more forces trying, I think, to probe here Fire&Terror's left flank, but Fire&Terror's got a significant force here, and Borobadger, I imagine, is waiting for some armor to try and break through here. Isildur's yet to take up. And of course, worth noting, we are 11 minutes into the game, and neither German player has yet to pick a commander. They yet to really shows they commit to something. They've yet to reveal their hand. MD42, they're getting smoke grenaded here, allowing the shock troops to go straight at it. On the west side here, things remain largely Marxist-Leninist. After dying forward here, Pack 40 has been lightly repaired here by Borobadger, but not by a lot. Half-tech diving out of the second shot from the Pack 40 there. Armored car catching the shock troops. Then we got the guardsmen opening up with the 2-2, punching it back with some well-placed shots. Pack 40 there in trouble.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Eastern point being grabbed. The Basis Grenadiere. And got an MD42 turning into the country, the halting their tracks on the west side here. Grenadiers basically there with the point. We got Grenadiers with the knees here. A lot of fighting with Borobadger is certainly, you know, still operating mostly in the supporting role here of Isildur. And Isildur is just mostly playing defense here. Ausar and Fire&Terror just keeps up the attacks well. Also worth noting, they have both built a mechanized armor company here already. So Ausar will probably go for a K1 here, maybe a T-34 from 6. And we got the Sapomacop here for Borobadger. As for Isildur, he's going straight for tier 4. Not slowing down here. Well, as long as Borobadger get out some medium armor, Isildur can get away with tier 4 rush. But if Borobadger suddenly decides, you know what, I want tier 4 as well, that could make Isildur's tier 4 rush, I think, significantly more risky, in my opinion. West side here, counter-gun going up here, pushing back the Pioneers. Grenadiers are busy with the light machine guns against the advancing Soviet troops here. Intense fire there, guards and subs from nasty losses here, and Bright Grenade being deployed, and Fire&Terror then narrowly retreats the guards. On the east side, we've got the consequence shocks and force. We've got for Mother Russia as well there. A significant assault here from our side, but is being met with intense machine gun fire that is pretty much halting the assault in its tracks. But Ausar is clearly not willing to give up. He charges from the half-tech here, overdrives it even, going for the 2-2, and I think he's going to try and make the MD42 after that. Ace level on the half-tech here, Pack 4 trying to run. That's going to be, I think, the end up. It missed! Gott im Himmel! And now it gets abandoned behind enemy lines. That is terrible for the Soviets. For the Germans, it's amazing. I mean, they just need to grab that and turn them against the Soviets. That could be like, perhaps not quite GG, but you know, it could be G. Pretty good, in fact. No armor yet here for the Soviets. Also, I can always start building the B4, though I would not advise that one right away. Meanwhile, Borobadger there with a Panther 4. We also have a Panther Grenadier squad out here. A nice addition here, though they are quick being played out there due to a significant surplus of Soviet infantry nearby, plus a mortar there, imagine doing some intense damage to them. Panther 4 halfway done there. Isildur. Scout the tech done, I imagine, but no heavy Panther core yet. And crucially, we still haven't seen a commander from either Isildur or Borobadger. Okay, there we go. Isildur, as you can notice there, we got that big cogwheel up in the base, indicating he's building a heavy Panther core. So that means he is again going to rush out something. They question it with a Panzerwaffe, Sturmpanzer, or will be going for a Panther here. West side here, slow progress there from Fire&Terror. Borobadger with more gun leads, but he finally has his Panther 4. Here's Panzer Kampfwagen 4. Should add the pen amount of MG32. Heavy mortar hit that almost takes out one of Isildur's Grenadier squads entirely. So we'll have to see what happens next here from the Germans. We got 408 versus 377. We got minus on here from Fire&Terror. Back in the Soviet bases, we got a field gun there for Ausar. Fire&Terror, nothing yet there. Though I imagine the arrival of Borobadger's Panther 4, there we go, commits Fire&Terror to the whole anti-tank gun idea.
We are losing territory.
Quick pushing forward to that's it. This building is like, you know, pretty structurally unsafe. Good shot there, there we go. First German commander is Isildur here with Spearhead featuring mortar half-tracks. Panther tactician ability, recon zero flights, fragmentation bombs, and the Tiger tank. Could he possibly playing a Tiger tank here? Good. I mean, on a map like this, it could work out for him. So we'll have to see. And we got Borobadger here shortly with the same command as well. It is Blitzkrieg featuring command tanks, Panther tactician as well, with tactical movement, recon zero flight as well, and the Stuka close air support. So. Right before the turn-in map, we do get two commands picked there from the Germans now. Rushing 40 for the center, Isildur launching top. There you go. Ausar here launching, I think, a good counter-attack here. The shock troopers catching the grenades in a bad spot. We got a fragmentation bomb from Isildur here, unleashing the might of the Red Army here on the support weapons. Oh dear. Another Fire&Terror, I think Ausar's realized what's going on. There you go. Heavy mortar engineers ripped apart. A brutal strike here from Isildur. If the Germans had to rush in now, they could actually grab the heavy mortar turns, and so in fact this just further hurt Ausar's than just 3 conscripts with the field gun and the KV-1. That's like his second engineer unit wipe. Meanwhile, Isildur's going for the Sturmpanzer first. And that's an option too. So not bad for a map like this either. Well, waiting for particular sources of digging in, but I feel like in this situation, if you really want, they probably should go for the Tiger tank first, as it also helps them with Sturm versus armor, which the Sturmpanzer 4 does not. West side, you got the Panther back with the conscripts moving in up on their flank. Nice work there. I would like to say nice shot, but unless that wooden cart was hiding, you know, Joseph Stalin himself, I don't think that's going to have like any impact on the Soviet war effort. You just get caught by the Grenadiers and quickly dispatched. Isildur with the Sturmpanzer 4 out again will be incredibly effective versus the infantry and support weapons, but will fall notably short against the KV-1 and the T-3045. So they will have to rely on the Pack 40s for that for now. And I guess the Panther 4 from Borobadger. Molotov there dispatched by the Pioneers, easily dodged on the west side here. Borobadger with another assault here, and there you go. Outmaneuvers here, Fire&Terror's positions. Did not expect the Grenadier attack from that angle. The Guardsmen here behind the west side. The Panther 4 is on the move once more. Nice use of a console flight with Borobadger, getting a nice lead there, so where Fire&Terror isn't, and this allows them then to actually like exploit these gaps, like get more effective attacks in there. So 2 thumbs up to Borobadger. So we got the Sturmpanzer moving forward. See if Isildur straight for the mortar again. Good shot there. Might be able to wipe it for the second time here. Almost got it. There we go. Second wipe on him. Ultimately with the K1 attached in here. Isildur's going to be in a pretty bad spot. Forces Isildur to retreat them or suffer their total extermination. So here, Panther 4 there. Another engineer wipe there. Needs to grab the heavy mortar, but I think they're too preoccupied. And wait, they haven't recruited the half-track at all. They kind of forgot it. I mean, it's also not impossible. This just has completely overlooked it. Like, he just doesn't know it's there. T-4 going for the Sturmpanzer's flank here. Panther 4 gets a good shot on the T-35 here. Fire&Terror once more on the offensive, striking in there. Almost got the Sturmpanzer here. Will he try and sacrifice the T-35 for the Sturmpanzer? No, he decides it's not worth it. But now we got the K1 moving in and forcing the Pack 3 position. This could be the opening here that Fire&Terror needs to then take out the Sturmpanzer 4, which would be a huge blow to Isildur. Pack 40 though, flanking the K1. There's the other Pack 40's pushed back here. T-5 diving in here. Got the Panther 4, could take out the Sturmpanzer, but no, again, Fire&Terror, I think, realizes he's had enough. He's not going to risk one of his precious tank crews, or more realistically, he's not going to have to try and explain to his staff car Why he lost the T-35 like that? Better to just, you know, work the paperwork and just not lose the tank.
Enemy has destroyed an anti-tank gun.
Got the anti-tank gun wiped. Southeast should mount the field gun on the victory point. Back to what the Pack 40 there. Molotovs off. Back here, took enforcing healing. T-35 there being held back by Fire&Terror. Engineers for Fire&Terror as well. Bit of quality in there you go. Borobadger is now coming to the Panther as well. So we'll have to see what he goes for. Will he go for Storm Panther? Will he go for Panther versus? Will he go for the Panther? And what will he still go for next? Will it be a Tiger Tank? Will it be a Panther? And there's certainly plenty of options here for the German players to explore. Plenty of options. Looks like Borobadger's going to make another push here though for the cut-off point there. Fielding the quality, but they're going to need a Fusilier, the light machine gun fire there. Threatens to rip the crew apart. Only in the end though, only Dimitri really dies. Panther with K1 more fire there on the Germans, causing a bit of harm there in the field. The heavy mortar is just back in action. Once more, I think an opportunity missed there by the Germans to seize it and turn against the Red Army. And half-track railway is still abandoned. I can figure with the engine being on fire for that long, you know, it would, you know, have dealt with itself, but I guess not. Storm Panther banding a shot from the field gun there. Sent to their field gun bombarding home to deal with any Germans to dissuade them from existing, if possible. In the far west, we got a Panther squad push back the maximum there. Nice flank here by Borobadger, but without support, that is something we dealt with here swiftly by Fire&Terror's T-35. We got a Katyusha rocket launcher out for Ausar, bring in some rocket artillery to bash the German positions into silence and compliance. Field gun there gaining veteran 2-1. West side, we got the Panther push back by the T-35. 4 kills veteran 2-1. East side, points have been grabbed by the Pioneers. And air recons are now from Ausarthevile. I imagine he's looking for a target for his Katyusha rocket launcher. There we go. Straight and aiming forward to the Pack 40 here. That was really close there. Got one of the Pack crews wiped. Excellent barrage here. Almost got the machine gun there. And overall, crucially, it just removes a significant, like, you know, portion here of Isildur's, like, defenses up north. If we're removing all the support weapons and disrupting them, so this could open it up for the push by Ausar, and he is actually, I think, coordinating his push. Oh dear, Isildur accidentally recruited the Pack there with a 3-man squad, costing him the Gundier squad to recruit the Pack 40. I imagine this could only be a mistake there, or he was just really desperate. It's hard to say here, but our way, though, that is cost him a Grenadiers squad. That's actually pretty good there for the Soviets. And the center beam of Fire&Terror is closing up here. Borobadger is going to be routed, flanking up behind him. Meanwhile, Isildur's busy here. That means he could be in a lot of trouble here. If Fire&Terror pushes far enough, he could threaten the retreat of a lot of units, and crucially the Packs here. Field bombardment going to use as well here. No, it looks like here Fire&Terror is not quite committing further to the assault here, which does mean Isildur isn't in a lot of trouble here. Borobadger with a Panther almost done. Panther come for 5. Isildur could also soon go for himself 1, but he could also save up for the Tiger Tank. We'll have to see which of the two it is, but there you go. Panther out for Borobadger. Isildur can close to now go for a Panther. Always going for the target. We've got Panther pushing forwards there. Panther driving another half to Fire&Terror. Probably Fire&Terror for purposes. Or it could be to like around with a more defensive backbone, but just mobility in general. That's hard to say here. Fragmentation bomb there for Isildur again. Right on the maxim. Excellent strike here by Isildur. He's closing that Tiger Tank. No Panther yet for Isildur. Might just be the Tiger Tank he's planning here. Might just be it. Tifa caught by the Panther. And the Pack. Isildur is now moments away from the Tiger Tank. Well, he's a bit further away from it now. He needs to stand up between Ausar and Isildur continues as Ausar, I think, is trying to like find a spot to attack from here. Another wipe there, and Borobadger loses his pack crew. And Isildur, in fact, I think has crewed one of them. West side of your Panther's heavily damaged. Isildur getting ever closer to the TIE tank. He then gets further away from it again. And nope, ends up going for a Panther himself. Panther fires on the T-35. So that's looking to be at least 2 German Panthers total here between the two sides. German players, I mean. Eastern side, we got the K1 being repaired. Isildur remains dug in here with 3 packs. And Arthur's bringing an H-35 tank so to help bash his way here through Isildur's lines. On the west here, Borobadger finally making some progress here with infantry, backed up by the Panzerkampfwagen 5 and some Panzergrenadiere. It looks like he's using it primarily to enforce the troops at the front line, making it harder here for like just Borobadger to grind him out and getting just much greater frontline resilience. Thumbs up there. I think that's an excellent way to use the half track, and one that does, I think, tend to get overlooked quite a bit. In the north here, though, Isildur strikes here, I think, catching on Ausarthevile, unprepared for such a sudden burst of German aggression. There we go. Second Panther ready there for Isildur. Curtis Intimidate. The Panzerkampfwagen 5. So that's 2 Panthers total now for the German players. Will they go for more Panthers? Who knows? West side here though. Bit of light skirmishing. And I'm manking Isildur's waiting his Panther there before making any further moves. Meanwhile there. Holy smokes, that was a great stone punch shot there. Almost got the conscript here. Molotov off. And oh, there we go. Katyusha barrage straight into the pack crews here from Ausar. Both packs wiped and could be destroyed here by Ausar's Katyusha rocket launcher. And there we go. One of them is destroyed. Filger number 2. Well, the remaining Filger is being hammered as well by artillery fire here. Wiped almost there. Panther going for the T-55. Pack crewed here. The other enemy gets decrewed. T-54 back here. The fighting around the center is pretty intense. Storm Punch, they're also doing a bit of a button to the field in here. Panther takes it from Initiative 5. We got Panther fast going off. No, Panther Strikes it was, actually. Fielding Hall back here. Assassins are finding things getting rather tight around the center. They were drawing the lines to protect that better. Panther diving in here pretty aggressively. They're suffering quite a bit of damage here from surge gunfire. Pack recruit again here. We've got the K1 and H5 pursuing here. Isildur's Panther is desperately trying to get into safety here. Pack being caught repositioning. H5, the K1 diving in there. Pack team turn around. They've got the Storm Punch Adventure 2 here. Pack crew wobbed up. Panther shoots into K1, but misses completely and miserably. We got Borobadger's Panther being rushed in to assist by outmaneuvering here. Ausar forcing to withdraw the H5 as prisoners to the flank of it. Could even destroy it here. A nice aggressive dive here with Borobadger to support his teammate. And there we go. Got the H5, leaving Ausar with just the K1, which does reach Veteran 2, but it's cruising up against 2 Panthers. Not a great setup, but there you go. T-55 obviously has Fire&Terror, of course, realizes now he too has the supporters on the east side there. K1 there, Veteran 2, but the Panthers are inflicting significant amount of damage to it with their high velocity 75mm guns. That was pretty intense. Back here, troops reinforcing healing, half-tracked upgrade with the Corpsman, probably to help deal with German air support. Samex in the west, back here in the German base, we got some reinforcement healing. More grenadiers there for Isildur. Panther immediate repairs, in fact. Both Panther immediate repairs, and there's still the half track, still abandoned. That thing has just been smouldering there for quite some time. Guardsmen constantly wreck the party with light machine gun fire. And another Katyusha barrage here from Ausar. There we go, straight for the MB-42. Doesn't quite land the hit there. Very close though. Not quite there. Borobadger with a Panzerwaffe going for some rocket artillery of his own. Panzer team there ramming. He catching the T-35 there with a Raketa and Panzerbuchse. Pack gets a shot off there. Could they reload the Panzer off the fun volley here? Could be pretty good there for Borobadger, but no. Doesn't quite manage it. Storm Panzer pushback machine gun there. 29 kills, bet you, and there we go. Another from Mother Russia. Ausarthevile getting ready to launch another devastating Marxist assault here in Isildur's positions. A great hoorah can't be heard. There's men being pushed forward. Storm Hunter fires. But not enough, it seems, when the Surge is supported by anti-tank weapons for it to really stop that. Panther's up here being repaired still, but could maybe swing in here and hit us up pretty hard on the nose. We'll have to see. Decent shot then the conscripts. Catching the pursuit here. There we go, another shot there. Further catching the Fit ourselves the Vile's infantry. You should fire there, slowly ramming here for Ausar. Bring another tank destroyer in the west here. Fire&Terror there is digging in once more. We got air reconnaissance from Borobadger, but that's going to be shot down nearly instantly over the half track. Up goes the Weasel, straight into the tree line. And half track still just awaiting repairs. It's waiting to be seen at all in the first place. Panther diving east side here. Ooh, that was a pretty decent shot from the Panther, and the conscripts there. Rocket fire here. Panther barrage here trying to soften up the Surge, but they just... The Panther barrage, despite, you know, pretty target-rich environment, ultimately doesn't end up doing that much. Isildur again might be going for a Panther here, another Tiger, we'll have to see, which he could be going for here. And we got this first Panther moving forwards here. Great shot on the K1 there, will of course need a lot more shots. He will take a lot of return hits here from Ausarthevile, so he should fire a tank destroyer. Far west here we got the T-35s dealing with the gunneries, pushing them back. A few depleted squads that holding there, we go retreat. I think what he could have done is actually merge one squad with the other. No, they could have done that if they both had good 7-man squads. That would have been sacrificing one. Never mind me. West here we got the Panther moving forwards, eventually to their shots added. Great little hits here though from Fire&Terror's T-35s that push back the Panther, marking it here, definitely forcing Borobadger to reconsider what he's doing with the Panther there. The T-35's going through there, goes straight into the Panther, and the Panther could see a T-35 knocked out here. Maybe not, maybe not. H5 there, almost down for Fire&Terror. There we go. Oh no, both rockets missed. Rotten luck there, all the amazing luck if you're Fire&Terror. You said their half track, they're finally repaired and crewed by the Germans. That took quite a while. That's going to be a bit of a problem for the Surge, but not as big as a problem had it been done right away. Now there's, like, you know, a lot of other stuff that can help slow down the half track and destroy it pretty quickly. But at least they got it in order. Got rocket fire here. Constantly being hammered the Panther again. Some casualties, some suppression there, but without a further follow-up assault, I don't think it's going to matter too much. In the east here, standoff between Isildur and Ausar continues. We got 377 to 216, more mortar firing down there. Isildur very close to targeting. I mean, he has the fuel, he just needs a bit more manpower. So Borobadger, we got a second Panther for him, leading up to a total of 3 Panthers from the Germans combined. Unless Isildur decides to go for another Panther, at which point they could technically end up with 4 Panthers. That's a lot of Panthers. The count is 2 anyways. Then he's almost wiped out there. West side here, a bit of probing. Got basically Panthering up, he shoots and bounces off the K1's armor. He's really, really lucky. Panther almost done. Second bounce in a row. Holy smokes. Machine crew the wiped out here by Ausar. Just got veteran runners Katusha finally. Second Panther's right for Borobadger and the German army. So again, that is 2 Panthers. Isildur meanwhile is getting close to that mark. We can also go for a Panther or just wait a bit longer and go for a Tiger tank. Don't never mind, he just reinforced a bunch of troops. So west side maximum illness by the western victory point. We got 370 to 216. North here, Storm Panther moving about. It is very close to 83 on the east level. Another Panther barrage, this time wiping Fire&Terror's machine crew entirely from the face of this pixelated earth. ahead with the fresh Panther against Fire&Terror. Driving in with the Panther. East side, we got the K1 push back machine gun, then we got the Panther moving up. He veterans one. Good shot on the K1 there. In the west side, we got the Panther moving forward here. Again, 2 Panthers versus 1 T-35. He is definitely not great odds for Fire&Terror. Heavy fire around the center here. Germans are desperately trying to get their hands on some victory points, but the Soviets, I think, are doing a quite good job at keeping the Germans off them for now. Isildur once more closer, either Panther or a bit later Tiger Tank. We'll have to see which of these two options does go for. Quite a bit of them to the T-35 here. We got more armor rolling in here to prevent Borobadger from pursuing the T-35, then finishing off. We got Panther up the initiative. Almost got it because trying to in the Panther finish, getting a fin shot. We got the signaling up as well here. Blitzkrieg. Borobadger's on the offense for Deutschland. Taking a lot of damage. Mark vehicle. No fragmentation bomb support here from Isildur. East side here. Panthers on Overwatch. And a big surge of infantry here from the center. And there you go. Isildur does ultimately commit to a second Panther himself. And again, the Germans will, once that's done and haven't lost any other Panthers, have a total of 4 Panthers. That is roughly a platoon of Panthers then. Small one, that is, but you know. Sturm Panzer dying forward here. We've got near ace level there. 41 killed. There you go. 44 ace level Sturm Panzer. That's a nightmare for Fire&Terror and Ausar's infantry support. It's up north. They could be firing down here on the machine position here. And that, I think, is a creeping barrage here. Yup, that is a creeping barrage, definitely. Almost taking out the half tech here, by the way.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Second Panther there. Almost done for Isildur. Good bombardment in the center from the Sturm Panzer. Katyusha barrage off as well. Those Soviets are definitely forced running. There you go. Good Panther barrage. That didn't really do any damage, did it? But there you go. Second Panther is ready for Isildur. So again, that is 2 Panthers total here for the Germans there. 4 Panthers total. We'll have to see if they can actually like manage to leverage in a manner that actually wins them the game though, because the Soviets do have a lot of tanks themselves and crucially a fair amount of tank destroyers. Another bounce. In reality though, a K1 would have no real chance of bouncing the Panther's gun though. None whatsoever. Panther tank from north, they're going straight for the fire, backed up with some light infantry support here. Yup, looks like Isildur's on the warpath here. He's going ahead for Deutschland. We got the Blitzkrieg coming in here though. Panther rotating ahead for the fire. There you go. Damn it. Engine ahead on assault with limited support there. Fragmentation bomb calling the field gun here, but there you go. Veggie 2 Panthers all in terms of damage. Borobadger still moving in. There you go. Second H5 takes out the Veggie 2 Panther under Isildur's command. First Panther's about to get knocked out. The H5, there you go. Finishes off it. A huge blow. The other 2 Panthers are now diving in. Even as the first 2 Panthers are in flames. This is a not great coordinated attack into a coordinated defense. And the damage inflicted on the Germans here is intense. As ultimately, as I like to point out, one of the main issues with Panthers in Camrys too is they just don't have enough firepower for their cost. So, you know, that combined with the awkwardness of the attack and the lack of infantry support and road support, that means the Panthers were easily dealt with because they just couldn't realistically harm all of that firepower in a manner that could, like, you know, equalize the levels fast enough. So it ends up as a complete blowout here for the Germans and a significant win here for the Allies because now the Germans have, like, nothing to really withstand the Red Army with, to fight back with. And there you go, the H-Storm has been flanked by the T-35. Down it goes. A brutal loss here for the Germans. A loss for the Reich. A fierce tank battle here though. So hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. Hope it gives you some matches. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell your friends, tell your family. But don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Links in cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this. And again, if you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. Consider doing or pledging or again pre-ordering via the link in the comment section and using the code Propaganda. Cheers everyone, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.